Stinger.
Hello, and not to say Stinger as a way to introduce something.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize this is no way of introducing people to match number 2. I mean, I feel like that works. Did I get everyone's attention? I feel like I did. I think I did.
Maybe.
I got your attention.
Either way. Yeah, you got my attention, for better or for worse. We are here, and we are chatting something. Yeah, we do have match 2 coming up here, and I'm excited for this one. Because, you know, last match was really good. We had quite a long 1v1. And I think this match could see the same. And, you know, it came down to wire, only 2 points in it. But from the start, it's like, this is kind of advantage EPOS. I expect EPOS to win. And admittedly,
yeah.
It was difficult, but he did pick it up. This one, I have no idea who's going to win. We have, I think towards the back of field, we have Eggy and Burntbagels. Burntbagels, an incredible ice player who has been getting better and better at mixed over time. Great to see. We have Eggy, yet another split player. They seem to have been picking up a lot of our kind of up-and-coming
out there
players. So, you know, 2
every track
players
made
definitely...
I just type in a shift player. That's my strat.
So yeah, 2 definite up-and-coming players. Part of this new group who seem to have come through and kind of alongside the likes of Calder as well. Have, you know, made it into Div 1 for the first time. We then have the 2, the fair to call them the protagonists of this match. We have jdon, and we have Whizzy. Now, don't let these standings fool you. They haven't played their second match yet. That's one we're about to watch. But, you know, alongside Linksy, you know, they're all on 4 points at this point. They had a perfect first match, and one of them, you imagine, will end up with a perfect second match as well. And I reckon whoever wins this match is going to have the best odds of challenging EPOS for the title. They'll be the only people on 8 points other than maybe Linksy. Linksy's like this strange dark horse in the corner I don't really understand. Somehow beat Boz last time. Not sure who's in their game this time. That will be over on the other stream. They are up against Jaffa, Miles, and Hendo. So, I can honestly see Linksy doing very well there. But certainly out of jdon and Whizzy, you know, Whizzy needs no introduction. He's been at the top of Trackmania Esports for a long time. You know, he went to the World Cup in 2023 as part of Wild. You know, everyone knows him at this point. Whether it be for his beautiful karaoke on streams and his absurd wheel alt cam free setup. He's an incredibly good player. Won BIPC, reached the finalist of Encore earlier this year. Then we have jdon, who's a bit newer to the scene. Is still kind of getting known, but is an incredibly good player. Part of Shift, kind of broke out in EMC rather than BIPL or BIPC like we've seen a lot of players. Kind of went a bit of a different route, but he had an astounding run at XP Evo. Managing to get top 24 in the end, which coming in as a bit of a lesser-known name. I remember looking through the Wikipedia article, and he was the only non-notable player, I think, in the whole top 32. Of course, as I start bigging him up and talking about how great jdon is, he does the only honourable thing and drives straight into a wall. Along with Burntbagels, beautifully in sync there. So I think this round will be a fairly simple one. We've got Whizzy in the lead ahead of Eggy. I don't think Eggy's going to be able to close down a 3/10 gap here against most players, bar Whizzy, to be honest. So yeah, first blood to Whizzy. Where's he going?
That's a line.
What was that?
That's a line. That's a line.
It didn't look fast.
He's been cooking. That's all I can. Like, he somehow decides, no, inside. What are you guys talking about? Why would I take space? I can just take the inside line, because he was very close to all of those walls, but he made it work. He didn't have to, but maybe this is his line now. Who knows? Maybe he's discovered something along the way. It doesn't seem natural to me, at least. But he makes it out. He puts it out on top. Eggy on second place, and yeah, it's jdon and Burntbagels for now taking the hit. But yeah, as you mentioned, right, jdon just for me notable as well. But this is more from a history point of view for me, with Eggy crashing out right there. jdon, to me, reminds me of the Korean StarCraft 1 pro player Jaedong, which is Jaedong. Same pronunciation, different spelling. Known to be forever second place. Well, one of those players who is, but who knows? Still one of the best in the game, and maybe Jaedong is trying to channel that, right? Trying to make his way through, as we have both Burntbagels and Eggy out of the running, as Jdon and Whizzy fighting it out, and the difference in lines coming out once again. Whizzy taking that inside into out, but Jdon getting the advantage out of that, and 0 points lost for him, and a phenomenal round right there. It doesn't look like Whizzy's line is as cracked up as it seems to be, because that was the decider.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't sold on it after the first round. You know, he lost, I think, a 10th, maybe 2 to Eggy doing it. We've seen Whizzy go for these strange lines before. The one that'll always come to mind is the ridiculous outside dirt line that he used during the World Cup middle stage, I think it was, last year on GeForce, where he just went right way around the outside, used like slingshot. You know, sometimes he finds incredible lines like that. I don't know what he's found this time.
No.
So
we're gonna have to see.
Yeah. Gonna keep a closer eye on it this time. We have Jdon within a 10 from Whizzy. There or thereabouts. Eggy confidently in front of Bagels, who I think is having a bit of a match to forget so far, it has to be said. Regardless of the line, Whizzy might get away with this round. We're going to see, though. It's 2 tenths gap currently. He goes for it again. And it is now still 2 tenths?
Yeah?
Huh?
Question
Before we look at this line.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still not fully convinced of this line is better than outside, right? Maybe it is, but I don't think so. I'm not getting that from this. I don't know. Is it just comfort? I mean, he is dropping time every single time, so it must be he's simply more comfortable with the line, because I can't really see any other reason other than that. Like, I'm looking forward to it saving 2 tenths or something like that, because otherwise it doesn't feel like, it feels like way more risk than the normal line we've seen thus far. But I mean, he's able to get away with it thus far. And fortunately, Eggy with a mistake will be dropping out of the running, so we are left with 3 players fighting it out. It's Burntbagels, Whizzy, and Jdon, and really it's fight between Jdon and Whizzy, is currently on the losing side here on our final round. Looking for any and all space to get by. Gets the inside line on the sausage, and once again, the difference in grass comes up, and Jdon once again taking advantage of it. Whizzy with a bit more exit speed, I should mention, but I think that's just more due to the way Whizzy exited out of the grass, as Jdon, had a bit of a slower exit out. But outside of that, it just, I don't know. It doesn't seem right, and I think it's actively cost Whizzy 2 wins right there. Potential wins, honestly.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you there. The more I look at it, the more ever so slightly confused I get. Yeah, it does seem to give a little bit more exit speed, which is nice, but the track ends about 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
So there's not really any time to capitalize on that. You know, I think the last kind of 2 times we watched it, I think he gains back maybe 300-400 hundredths on the exit.
Even that. Yeah.
But the entrance costs him so much more. I mean, we even see him like wiggling on the grass to try and get a little more speed from it. I'm just a little confused, to be honest, and those are a few points that he probably doesn't want to lose against Jdon. Jdon still within 3 points there. It is 92 to 89. So, yeah, very strange first map.
Definitely, yeah.
I said I didn't know how. I said I didn't know how this would go. That wasn't how I thought it would go.
Learn something new every day, I suppose. I mean, that's the beauty of it all, right? Getting into the map and just I mean, it's always enjoyable to see a different line happening. And I mean, in this situation, yeah, not convinced. I don't think it's faster. Just go for the outside line and you'll be fine. But even then, right, it just, shows that creativity and just, experimenting even in matches with something else, something different, something that isn't the status quo. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I think this is one of those where it doesn't. But feel free to let me know once Whizzy drives a world record with that, and we'll all look like fools for it.
Yeah. Well, we head on to our next track. Maybe we'll see something crazy from him here. I did not watch him last week. He was over on one of the other streams, so I would be surprised if he's got any more alternate lines up his sleeve. But this is Whizzy. It's entirely possible. This map definitely favors players who like tech, and jdon is probably one of the only new generation of kind of British players who's come through who actually looks quite comfortable on tech and seems to enjoy it from what I've been able to tell. So this map might favour him a bit. I mean, it favours him even more when Whizzy drives into a wall and is 0.7 behind, but
that does the trick indeed.
Eggy's there.
He's pushing.
We haven't really spoken much about Eggy this entire match. He gets a lovely inside line. I think it's just a little bit too slow though.
Yeah.
And even trying to go more inside doesn't quite come together.
No.
Solid times, but not. I feel like my expectations have been warped from watching the last match with, Ethos and Bolts, where I think we're driving.
I guess. It's a bit slow, yeah.
Yeah, I barely said we saw a 0.0 on here. So it's kind of broken my perspective here on bottle of water. I hate Lynn for making me say that constantly.
I mean, look, Dutch names just get the weirdest names out there as well. We still talk about our old Prime Minister driving the Ghost to show you how it's done. That's the level there. So bottle of water, I'll take it, I'll accept it for what it is. But yeah, it's just looking at previous round real quick as well, mentioning Eggy. I think that's been Eggy's best round thus far. I mean, this one doesn't look to be shaping up too much, but that's been somewhat of the story for him, really. And I think the only reason he isn't that far, he's not closer to Burntbagels in this situation is simply due to Burntbagels having even more issues driving the tracks thus far. Is in third place, but not close enough to make any impact on Whizzy and jdon, who have been at the top two for pretty much all of this round. And Whizzy just evening up the score with that first place, 85 points both for Whizzy and jdon. Eggy -10 because of his early mistake, and Burntbagels just keeping it together, just a -7. So thus far, does look like our top two is starting to be showing itself very early on in the match, and it may turn into a fight between Eggy and Burntbagels for that bronze position.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be jdon and Whizzy up at the front, and I was expecting it to be close. 6 rounds in and tied on points is pretty much as close as you can get. So I'm not going to complain about that. But it's not even been that the rounds have come down to tiny margins. It just looks like one round Whizzy looks faster, the next jdon looks faster. But this round might be breaking the rule a bit. Both within half a tenth of a second at this point. Still plenty of time to be gained with the final drift and this third exit. Staying still fairly close. See two very different tech lines there. And jdon, he did look stronger.
Does he have enough though? No.
But the gap was a little too much to make up.
Yeah, it just came down. I mean, it was very much a, if only a bit faster over the rest of the track, because that final approach, the final attack definitely was a good effort made from jdon, but not quite it, right? Not quite it. Fortunately, not the biggest issue. Losing 4 points, still within striking distance of Whizzy. It's Burntbagels and Eggy who are still keeping the points nice and low between the two, and Burntbagels just unable to really get his footing on this track thus far. I mean, this bottle of water definitely not quenching any of his thirst that he may have, because right now he is in the desert when it comes to getting, any loss of points reduced. Once again, fourth place. Once again, not that far behind, right? Seeing everyone, but yeah, it's Eggy who will be able to get third place. And maybe Whizzy, because of that airtime, will allow Eggy to get into second. And yeah, does slot in for the time being, but with still a bit of track remaining, there is plenty of potential for Whizzy to get back into a jdon, though. He is solidly in first place, and with Eggy crashing out, even the role of cameraman has been forfeited. It is Whizzy now, giving us the POV of jdon, picking up this round here. Doesn't have to do any fancy shenanigans with drifts, and in fact drives a 59.2 at that as well. Solid driving from him, and once again evening out this score, 81 between Whizzy and jdon.
Yeah, 8 rounds down, equal on points. It's hard to get any closer than this. I think mathematically it's,
I mean, it's impressive over 8 rounds time that it's still the exact same, even because it's 81 at that as well, right? Because both players have had a third place along the way, so it's not just been first, second, first. No, there's a bit of a difference, and even then, they're the exact same.
Yeah, it's just been, so close between them. I still don't know who's gonna come out on top, and I don't feel like we've seen many mistakes of either. Both players with one third place to their name and then just first and seconds. It's not like kind of the Whizzy the Epos boss match where if one of them crashed, that could be a big -10 swing.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that at all. It's been,
minor.
I don't think I've really clocked a single major crash from jdon or Whizzy. It's just been, the odd line letting them down and maybe they drop a 10th, and that's been deciding every round. It's so tight between these two players.
Yeah, just able to push these lines and just keep that consistency at that high as well, has been allowing them to simply thrive, right? Where Burntbagels on 26 points, Eggy on 44 points, a far cry from the 81 points that we have from Whizzy and jdon. That says everything you really need to know about the match itself. Usually, there's situations where the points don't really tell the full story. I think this is one of those where you could get a summary just by looking at the scoreline and be like, all right, well, it's going to be a close fight for first place between jdon and Whizzy, but Burntbagels and Eggy, they're no man's land, and all they can do is try and stay on this ride, because it is not stopping anytime soon.
Oh, it might be stopping for Bagels though.
Ooh.
I don't think it ever really started for Bagels this match. It's one to forget.
That 34% not bringing him any favors, that's for sure. It's not ice. Come on, you gotta take the action key off.
Right. Everyone pretty close at the front here. Eggy keeping pace with the top two this round, which he will be happy with, I am sure. Putting it in a position where if jdon or Whizzy were to make a mistake, it would be a little more costly, but he's dropping back now. I wouldn't say either had... I'm not sure. It didn't look like either had particularly ideal dirt lines there, it has to be said.
Yeah.
But they both got away with it here, and we're going to get a tech difference here. Who is better on the tech?
Oh,
it
Whizzy
is
with the touch.
definitely jdon, as Whizzy clips still somehow makes the jump, which is miraculous, frankly. But drops him 10 points. I was talking before about how we haven't seen these big 10-point swings. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
That
took
is
us
massive.
8 rounds, 2 maps for that first 10-point blow to our top players in the match. And Whizzy, the one to take it first on the chin there. And honestly, jdon has been looking phenomenally. It's really just been map 1 where, it's been looking more Whizzy favor, but outside of that, honestly, jdon Bottle of Water has been doing good. Now here on Chain has been doing great as well. Once again, just leading the pack in first place, and where Eggy is, keeping up, and especially in that previous round, able to take advantage of the mistake that Whizzy made. It's definitely not the map where Whizzy seems to be as clean as he would have liked. The dirt line this time around looking a lot more stable than it did in the previous one. Still not as outside as, we have seen, but not as worrisome, not as unconfident as you could say, and the drift will make the deciding factor once again. And Whizzy actually gets Eggy on the turn. jdon, though, keeps it clean, keeps it secure, drives a 0.6 out of that one as well. And we go back to the -1, -0, -4 between the two, but jdon still great. No, Bagels! That's gonna be 12. Yikes. And now third place is even enough for last place.
Yeah, that was, just a very fast round as well last time from all players. Eggy has really impressed me on this map. Hasn't really got the points to show for it yet. I opened my mouth, didn't I? And yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Falling behind here, but he's had some stronger pace. jdon clips. It's a map where he has definitely looked like the stronger of the front runners, and Whizzy crashes. What is going on?
What do you mean?
This is a mess. Bagels, the only person. I mean, even then he made a mistake at the front, but he could pick up a -0 here, which would be massive for his survival chance. Well, okay, it might still be a bit too much of an ask.
Eggy's right there. Eggy overtaking.
It would feel good. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Loses out on the tech, unfortunately for him.
Burntbagels in shambles. Burntbagel fans in shambles. Like, it's just
confusion from jdon. Yeah, but that's about a second slower than we've seen in most rounds. We've seen kind of mid to high 56s here on Cheney as around winning times, and we get a mid 57 there. Not the finest bit of Trackmania esports I've ever seen, but
no. But yeah, that mistake from Whizzy as well. The points have dropped even more, and yeah, Eggy crash. I mean, Burntbagels will be quite happy about that situation, but the difference in terms of points. I mean, jdon was in position to lose some points finally, but he is still on 81 points. He is still set to drive a perfect race here on this map, and Whizzy is chasing him down, is looking to somehow get jdon a bit closer to him, but I mean, the gap is. I mean, it's more than 20 points. I mean, we already were looking between Epos and Bospez, and we're like, wow, 20 points. I mean, that's a big gap. How are we going to make that up? But it doesn't seem like jdon is slowing down anytime soon. And once again, that tech drift coming into play, but it's actually a mistake from jdon, and his first -10 comes out due to a small touch into the wall. Does make the jump, but crashes into the finish out of that as well. So it is Burntbagels still safe, even with Eggy in third place. So he was safe in the first place, but first big hit to jdon right there. It took us 12 rounds for him to actually make a big mistake and be punished for it, really.
Yeah, that was a big one. It was very much his round to lose there, and he could have exited that map with, 81 points versus what would have been 53. It could have been a absolutely gargantuan swing of 28 points in just 4 rounds. But that gets cut in the other direction. He still made up 14 points on that map. He'll still be quite happy with it, but possibly kicking himself over that mistake, as that looks like a bit of an odd one. Really, we'd seen Whizzy do the same before, but that one of the people that did help to save was Burntbagels, who has made it on to the second rotation, back to Mr. Seti, the map by wonderful Doc. And
I don't know.
Sorry, I've just had a producing.
I feel like whenever I say Mr. Seti, it's like Mr. Rossetti is what I get in my mind whenever I hear the map name. But that's, I don't know, maybe Animal Crossing has rotted my brain somewhere along the way. Hey, I have all the references in the world. All right, don't worry about it. You need any reference, I got you. If it sounds similar, I can, even if it has nothing to do with it, I will find a way to make it reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, Burntbagels, I think he'd be quite happy making it along the second rotation. Though, I mean, Mr. Seti honestly has really been a tough one for him his first time around. I don't think he was able to. I think he got 1 3rd place out of that, and all
Yeah,
the other ones
it was
were
rough.
4th. So I don't think he's going to be able to stay in quite yet. But hey, never say never. Maybe the 34% will come into play this time around, and he will be able to channel his mixed map coming in. Maybe he needs to be a mixed bagel because you know what? Touching the wall kind of seals the deal from the get-go. Not even 5 seconds into the round, and it's looking like last chance is guaranteed.
Yep. I don't think that's last chance. I think that's elimination
No,
there.
the chance has been thrown away.
Yeah. Chance has been used up, and
Yeah.
I think we will be saying goodbye to Burntbagels now. 7 seconds behind. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Even if we get an almighty crash from one of these 3, where we see Whizzy with about a 2/10 advantage. Closer down to 1.5 now. How much is he going to throw, though?
Here he goes again.
By doing this strange line. It was faster that time.
It
was faster.
But I'm not sure if it was because of him or because of jdon and Eggy.
I'm not sure. I'm just back to being confused. Bagels eliminated at the back of that vote. I think Eggy will look at that and go, job done. Plenty of margin there.
No.
And just enjoy what is left of this match for him. I think it's going to be a... Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to pick up a 2nd place here.
It's I think it's just holding on to the bumper on the back of jdon's and Whizzy's car, but unfortunate touch right there. It's just accelerating his demise, if you will. Even then, though, I mean, yeah, Whizzy and jdon, the gap is massive. I think 3rd place. Maybe looking into retrospect, he could be like, oh, you know what? With the way they've been driving, was there really that much I could do better? I think honestly, he's been doing fine. He had troubles on this track first time around as well, so not surprised that once again he's gonna have some issues. But bottle of water, maybe that's where he's able to stay alive. He may be able to stay in there for now, but we'll see though. Whizzy and jdon, big gap between the two. I think even if Whizzy went on the outside, it would not have mattered. And jdon driving a 0.6 there as well, matching Whizzy's 0.6 from the previous one. And it's still a good gap for jdon, right? He still has the advantage going into it all. And now as well, with the minus points, even then, that's 14 points difference. That is a round or 2, maybe even 3 that he can afford. And honestly, Mississippi has been jdon's weakest track thus far. So if he can get out of here with just, like 1st place and 2nd places, he'll be just fine.
Sure, it's 14-point gap now. Oh, it's going to be more than 14 points now. That is
well, he's fine.
Massive,
he is okay. More than fine.
Yeah, I got to feel a bit for Eggy here. Again, I think his fate is fairly sealed no matter what, but it's always nice to hang on as long as you can. But he's probably going to pick up -6, and he's on exactly 6 points there. So no luck with the points going his way at all. This round looks like a bit of a formality.
Oh, what? Well,
I would like to retract my previous statement. Eggy gets around win by crashing the risky. jdon drives off somewhere. And Whizzy... I should have a HUD keybind. These players, man.
I feel bad for anybody who somehow bet that it was going to be jdon winning round number 19 of this match, because, man, they got shafted hard right there at the end. But that's usually how it goes, right? It's right at the end, that final turn, corner to get past, and that's where it all comes crumbling down. We've seen it many times already. But you got to finish the track if you want to win it. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just say what happens on the screen, and that's pretty much it. But I don't think Eggy is going to be able to repeat that success just yet. It is jdon and Whizzy ahead of him by about 0.6 of a second. And jdon actually starting to make up a lot of space here on our final round. Whizzy not able to really counter it. And once again, we make it to the grass. Will this be the moment that the grass line will shine? Will that inside line make all the difference? Well, I mean, if you believe, then I believe. But honestly, the proof is in the results. I would say pudding, but honestly, pudding has nothing to do with the situation.
You know, I've got to be honest. You're putting some words in my mouth there. I do not believe in that line at all. I love to support Whizzy and his funky lines. That is
it's not
one of them.
Not it.
Yeah. I've just been keeping an eye on the other match. Of course, coming into this, I was talking about people who are title contenders. In my opinion, it's obviously Epos. 8 points from 8 has beaten Boz, one of his big threats already.
Yeah.
I think the winner of this match will have a very good chance to go on and challenge for the title. Whizzy and jdon have both looked quite good. jdon possibly looking even better. The only other person left, who I mentioned is a bit of a dark horse to know how they're getting on, is Lynxy, who, when I tuned into the second match, was still on 81 points 3 rounds ago, but has just lost 27 points in 3 rounds.
Oh no.
Okay, can I add another 9 points lost to that? He's not having a good time here on on Mr. Seti, Jesus.
Oh no. Mr. Rossetti, please quit it.
Yeah,
that's why you don't reset your GameCube while you're playing. Wait, what?
Oh dear.
I'm gonna call him out Mr. Rossetti from now on. All right,
Mr. Rossetti.
That's just the way it goes.
Well, thanks for my ears. I think it's quite unlikely we'll get back round to it on the... No, it's very likely. I'm just looking at the number of points we've got left. We're definitely getting back round to it again.
Yeah, I think we'll I mean, it would have to be. I mean, jdon, if he can from this point on pretty much get first places round after round, then yeah, I guess, right? Because we will have... I mean, Whizzy on 36 points right now. We'll be able to drive out Ball of Water here and then make our way to our third map. But yeah, it would... I mean, Whizzy is just gonna have to fight back. The gap right now, 21 points. Not looking too good, and Eggy's still there to play spoiler in some regards, but it's been a tough match for him, though. He was able to suffer the wrath of Mr. Rossetti and is able to lift the tail right here on Bottle of Water. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe the egg will roll.
Yeah, that has not been a great first drift, and it's gonna, it's put him kind of 2-3 tenths behind, and don't see where he's gonna make that up without a crash from one of jdon or Whizzy. No offense to Eggy, but I don't think he has enough to pace. That said, we see a tiny little clip from Whizzy that turns into the now patented landslide, as I'm going to call it. And Eggy will get another lifeline thrown this way.
What?
Maybe. He's
no.
Not... Is he making risky?
He does. Okay. That was scary. I mean, Whizzy also having issues actually sticking the landing right there, so... I mean, still could have been fine, but the save has been thrown up, made it to first base before the catcher was able to catch it right there, and -9 to Whizzy. I think jdon won't mind at all if Eggy can keep driving second places right here, because this is the only situation still in the match where the gap between jdon and Whizzy can grow quite substantially, really, right? Because after this, once it is the 1v1, only 4-point differentials are possible, and now that's a -7 blow between the two. He's gonna be quite happy about that. And Eggy, though, I think that's maybe lights out.
The egg has
the yolk has been broken. Yeah. Scrambled eggs.
We're bad at each other. He's looking fairly fried in this match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely a hard egg to crack, but...
He's excruciating. Anyway, we have Whizzy and jdon.
Right, they were racing, right. Whizzy is winning against jdon right now. Yeah,
Whizzy is actually winning. It's been a little while since we've seen this, I feel.
Oh, but... That was close. That was close. Not quite it, but it was close. So we say goodbye to Eggy.
Yeah,
bronze
we do.
on the plate. 2 points gained. Now the duel will continue, and it's Whizzy still trailing. I mean, that first place helps out, but even then, jdon barely, 1 point less than the half. Like then 50 is, I mean, 49 in and of itself is a great position to be in at this point in the match, but not if you have some issues with that uphill dirt line. Then things start to get a bit worse. Still, though, we have seen Whizzy make some major mistakes along the way in situations where you don't expect them to. So it could still very much change. It's not over till it's over, right?
Yeah, the total points for players are going to be losing is going to start increasing a lot more. Of course, it was a 20-point gap between Ethos and Boss when we kind of got to this situation. That came down to 2 points in the end.
Yeah.
It's 24 this time. It's unlikely, but I certainly don't think it's impossible here.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, it feels, it's very much going to come down to how often Whizzy makes a mistake, because so far, if he does make a mistake, it has been quite big. jdon's mistakes, where they have happened, they're really not that impactful, but now it is 1v1, right? Now, all of a sudden, one mistake can make the difference. But even then, he has been able to show that comeback potential, has been showing that differential. And at the same time, it seems like, whoever feels better in terms of this round, in terms of the pace that they are feeling like they can set, will be able to take it. Whizzy having the lead, but honestly, still all up for grabs, all on the table. Whizzy getting airtime on the sausage block there as well. Will allow the doors to be open for jdon, but Crash is the outside third. It still has the advantage. 2/10.
Yeah, manages to avoid a slide after that mistake, which I think is the biggest threat. It's kind of a bit later on there. But yeah, it's kind of exactly what you were saying. When we see crashes from them, Whizzy tends to have a big crash and jdon will have a little one. And in a round where they both crash, jdon has one out, given his crash was just a little bit smaller.
I love how he says as well with Crash. Well, I mean, you weren't the only one. I mean, Whizzy didn't crash. He made a mistake. He went, he jumped. Yeah. He decided the sausage was looking like a beautiful ramp right there, extra slippery. And I mean, he took it, right? He just took it. Yeah. He decided, let's go. Stunt mode is activated. Unfortunately, though, that's still -8 points for his troubles, and 13 points versus 37 points. That's what I call.
Yeah. I think what jdon might have been referencing when he said with Crash, though, wasn't actually the round win. His time, he drove a 59.3. which has been winning times in most of the rounds he watched, and he did that with a Crash. What pace was he on beforehand? He could have been on a 0.0 pace.
Yeah.
I hope at some point we get to see, a sub 59 in a match. That would be incredible to watch. But I think that round might have been the closest to it we've seen had he not clipped and still driven a 0.3. Yeah. That's madness. Something else I want to mention over on the second stream. When Jaffa went into last chance, Lynxy was on 81 points. Lynxy is now on 35 points and Jaffa's still in it. And of course, as I say this sentence, I've cast a cursed.
No!
From across the channels and across the servers.
This guy right here, guys.
Oh, that's gutting. Right, I thought Jaffa was about to pull off the single greatest comeback of all time. On doing like an 80-point lead or something, but I mean, he still took 50 points off Lynxy, which is kind of madness.
That is massive, though, to be fair.
Yeah, Lynxy looking like he could beat our Hendo here, though, and pick up another win. But anyway, enough time getting distracted by the second stream, which everyone should go and follow.
You should have everything open, honestly. Yeah, just open it on your phone, open it on your laptop, on your desktop. On your Wii, just dust it off, open a browser in there. I'm sure Dreamcast also will have browsers. I'm not sure if they support HTML5 and all that, but hey,
I'm not sure most people support owning a Dreamcast at this point.
No. Just play it on your fridge. Don't you guys have smart fridges? Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, great start once again, and it's Whizzy just having to fight back, right? This is the name of the game. He is fighting the uphill battle. I'm not quite sure if he expected himself to be, maybe a deficit, sure, but as big of a deficit as it is right now, I'm not sure if he was prepared for that.
I honestly don't think it's that shocking to see. I got pleasure watching jdon last week up against Akros,
Mm.
and Akros has been on the scene for a while now. We kind of saw him improve rapidly, kind of during kind of a first ever BIPC and the first season of BIPL, and since then he's been kind of a staple top 4 to 8 player, I'd say. I think he came second last season. He's very much a known quantity at this point.
Yeah.
It's not, in terms of players you can realistically beat Akros, in the past, I'd probably say there's been 3, maybe 4 of them. jdon thumped him by 50 points.
That is massive, yeah.
Which was quite astounding to watch, frankly. And Akros just didn't look close to any point. And it looks like, honestly, he might go and do the same to Whizzy here.
Yeah,
Whizzy is going to get dropped onto a singular point, keeping him out of last chance here. And still, this 24-point margin hasn't closed up at all since they landed on, into this 1v1.
I mean, yeah, because even with that, I mean, this map in particular as well, Chain, has been thus far really the weakest map of Whizzy, right? We've seen first time around him making, I want to say like out of 2 rounds, making a mistake to land those -10s, right? Because going into this one, we had the mix happening. First place jdon, first place Whizzy, first place jdon, right? And we ended up on the 81 points for everyone. And it was from that point on where jdon was able to stay on 81 points and Whizzy suffering multiple -10s along the way. So I think for now, Whizzy most likely is just looking to well, it doesn't matter if he wins this round or not. The only reason it would is to make sure that jdon loses more points. Very simple. But it's really round number 4 that matters for him because he will be in last chance. He has to win rounds from that point on, but it would be his only opportunity to make it back to Mr. Rossetti and try and somehow turn this match in his favor, because for the time being, jdon definitely is in position to knock out Whizzy from this match and pick up first place of himself. And for this round in particular, he is just looking to mitigate any and all damage that he could take, and both jdon and Whizzy look a little vulnerable, and Whizzy with the mistake actually in the end. So it will be -8. Yeah, I know, jdon definitely, but once again, the difference between the two comes forward. jdon makes a mistake, Whizzy makes a mistake. Who makes the bigger mistake? It's Whizzy.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, unfortunate for Whizzy there. He would have really needed that, as he's currently in a position where he now has to go and win 4 rounds in a row. 1 here and then 3 on Mr. Rossetti. You got me doing it as well now.
Yeah, there you go. One of us.
I can't see him doing that. I don't think we've really seen him string more than 1 or 2 round wins in a row up against jdon. And jdon looked like he's gonna try and knock out Whizzy on the first time of asking. Whizzy with more speed coming into this dirt section. He's down, but he's not out yet. Gets a far better entry onto the engine off. How do they negotiate this dirt corner? Fairly equal, but jdon catching here. Oh, it's going to come down to this exit quite a lot. Whizzy with the tighter exit, but not the faster one. How are they on tech? They're both terrible.
No.
And jdon wins!
jdon wins, but in what? Oh. And the only response fitting to a winner. Oh, that is once again some map feedback just being dropped here in chat as we do. But yeah, that drift just showing off just how dangerous it is, but jdon managing to do it on his first time, putting Whizzy into last chance. And Just a phenomenal way for him to end the match in his favor, picking up 4 points in the rankings. With that, yeah, getting tied up with EPOS. So we have our first contender for potential first place.
Indeed. Yeah, and our next match is going to be jdon versus EPOS. This could well be the match that decides the winner of the tournament. The only other person who still has a chance of a perfect start is Lynxy, who, over on the second stream, again, I never want to tell people to go and leave the stream, but honestly, it's going to come down to wire there. At the end of this round, Hendo will be going on to last chance, and Lynxy is trying his best not to finish the round to make sure he does as well. I'm not quite sure what I'm watching, not his finest performance. He should still make it. Anyway.
No? Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I think we will leave it there. Definitely not so that I can watch these final couple of rounds over on second stream.
Give the people some reason to watch as well.
Yeah, we will be back with the third match of BIPL. The midpoint, it's going to be jdon versus BozPez versus... I read the wrong match. jdon versus Jaffa versus Yaruko.
That's
Jaffa and Yaruko, both relatively unknown quantities, but I'll be intrigued to see how they get on. And EPOS and jdon have both looked extremely good so far. So, yeah, we will be back in probably about 10 minutes for that.